our video to this class, we actually asked you guys to fill out a survey about how much you know about Lutheranism. So the majority of the class didn't really know that much about Lutheranism on a scale from 1 to 5. 61% said that they were in the 1 to 0 range. 32% said they knew something around the 3 mark, and 7% said that they knew a lot about Lutheranism at the 5 mark. So we also asked, are you or anyone in your family Lutheran? And kind of the same statistics. A lot of people said no, some people said yes, and a couple people said they were unsure if anyone in their family was Lutheran. Another question that we asked is, what are you guys most interested in learning about the Lutheran religion? The majority of you guys said you were interested in Lutheranism in medicine. Some people wanted the history of Lutheranism, and some other people wanted the social aspects. So we'll talk briefly about the history, a little bit about the social aspects, and then a little bit about the medicine, since this was more split. We will go into the basics of Lutheranism, since a lot of people didn't really have a background in it. So for those of you that know a lot about Lutheranism, just stay with us.
Lutheranism, like all other Protestant Christian religions, began with the Protestant Reformation that occurred in 1517. A priest and theologian named Martin Luther took offense to some of the practices being done by the Catholic Church at this time, mainly the Church's practice of selling indulgences. Indulgences were a way to reduce the amount of punishment one would undergo for one's sins. The Catholic Church had begun selling indulgences to people for a fee to raise money to build such things as St. Peter's Basilica. Many people, including Martin Luther, thought this practice was wrong, and entrance into heaven should not be decided by wealth. So Martin Luther wrote the 95 Theses, a dissertation about the problems he had with the Church. The work was soon disseminated across Europe, and the Protestant Reformation had begun. Lutheranism is one of the different religions that began after the writing of the 95 Theses. The main differences between Catholicism and Lutheranism are that Lutherans believe that grace and faith alone can save an individual from sin. This differs from the Catholic view that faith formed by love and work could save an individual. Lutherans also believe that Jesus Christ is God by nature and as a man.
So the Lutherans have a passion for sharing the gospel by sharing companionship with other Lutherans throughout the world. They have their own organization called the Lutheran World Federation, and there's over 85 million Lutherans worldwide. They have a very close community. They have their own system of Lutheran colleges and universities, and they value being compassionate to others, and this is shown by organizations such as the Lutheran World Relief, Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service, Lutheran Disaster Relief, and Lutheran Services in America, the largest social service delivery system in America today. Lutherans embrace the challenge of change and tradition and has a growing passion to reach the young, the immigrants, and those who fell outside the Church of Christ.
Lutheran is a ever-reforming religion. People anywhere can practice Lutheranism, so it's a universal religion. And on this map here, you can see that Lutheranism can be accessed in most areas of the U.S. Some areas, such as the Midwest, have a higher Lutheran population. However, it is still accessible to a large majority of people.
So why does being a Lutheran matter anymore? We are Lutheran not just because we are stubborn, but because the theology passed down from Lutheran is relevant in the world that we live in. Let's lay down some of the traditions so that you can see why what we have got should never be lost. The first is living with gray. We are the only few traditions that are comfortable with grays instead of black and white. For example, what might work for me might not work for you. Secondly, we are reformers, not reformed. We are simultaneously saint and sinners. There is no holiness in yourself, but you can achieve it through God. We are a work in process and we are never there. Thirdly, we cannot earn salvation. God gave you everything. Grace is fully given and not earned. Fourthly, everyone is a leader. God has a calling of each and every person, not just about the pastor. When we work together instead of one person doing the work, you will achieve the goal of being holy. Lutherans have faith to change the world, and that requires teamwork.
Okay, so actually for Lutheranism, they believe that the only way we can bridge this gap, there's a gap from over here to where God is, to be able to transcend there. Typically because of the sin of Adam and Eve, we actually just are going to fall right into hell because of what we did. So Jesus Christ came on the cross. I'll try and make it a little bit darker this time. And that actually bridges the gap for us to get to heaven. And there's nobody that's going to be able to go to hell because of what Jesus did. So, and there's nothing you can do as a person. It's all through Jesus Christ.
Lutherans believe that all Christian teachings should come from God's Word, which is the Bible. Everything in the Bible, according to Lutherans, is correct and true, and only through the Bible can Lutherans be saved. Lutherans also do not need a priest to have a connection with God. It is more important to have a personal relationship through the Bible to God and Jesus Christ.
Since Lutherans believe in giving back in order to show their gratitude to being saved, many hospitals are funded by Lutherans. There are a large number of Lutheran hospitals in Denver alone. Lutheran spirituality is mostly incorporated into medicine during birth and death. According to pewforum.org, as people age, they become more religious and spirituality becomes more important to them. As cultural competent pharmacists, the most important thing you can do is ask your patients if they have any special considerations about their health. Be aware that there are resources out there for your patients if they need spiritual counseling. You can refer your patients to local churches in order to talk to Lutheran pastors about end-of-life questions.